Hello, everybody. How are you doing on this fine Sunday evening? We got a lot to talk about tonight. Inter Miami's still on their globetrotting tour. They finally won a game. So we want to, but yet there's still a lot of people that are not happy. So we're going to dig into that tonight. And as always, I don't do this by myself. Everybody say hello to your favorite uncle, Uncle Ed. How you doing, Ed? Oh, don't let me interrupt.
Drinking some cafecito, Peter, because I was up this morning watching that game, so I'm a little tired.
So okay, wait. So you got up at 3 a.m. to watch it live?
I'm a dumbass like that.
Yes. How many of you in the chat did the same? So I thought about it, and it's funny. You know how you're just mentally your body. You can wake your body up without even thinking about it. So I was considering this the night before. And somehow magically I woke up last night around 2:55 in the morning. Could have turned on the TV. Instead, I just looked at the clock and I said, yeah, I'll watch it at like 7 a.m. And I just won't look at any reports. I won't pick up my phone. I won't look at anything. And so I can experience it at 7 a.m. the same way everybody else did at 3 a.m. But yeah.
And it's a little bit easier doing that way, Peter, because there's not that risk. If it's a prime time or whatever, to be redundant, it's more difficult because you'll get it on one of your pop up.
Well, that's why I said I even turned my phone upside down. I didn't look at anything just in case anybody else is up 7 a.m. But anyways, we'll dig into that. I kind of want to dig into some of the story behind the games, which I find to be interesting. So, but we'll get into all that and whatever else you guys in the chat want to discuss. But before we get too far, let's talk about our sponsors. And let's start off with Caneswear. Caneswear's located in Davie, Florida, off of University Drive, just south of 595. They've got some sales going on. I know that they were put. I got an email from them. And they had like the jerseys and things like that on sale. Like they had I was actually just trying to pull it up and look for it real quick. But they had the XBTO pink jersey marked down and things like that. So You want to get a good price on any of the what is now older merchandise? Go to Caneswear and get it on sale. Why not? They've got to clear it out because they do have the new pink shirts coming in right behind them. They think they should be in sometime next week. So Stay tuned on social media. As soon as I find out that they have them, we will post it and then we'll go and do like a little video inside the store. So anyways, go to caneswear.com if Davie's just a little bit too far for you, and any orders over $99 will ship for free.
Oh, Peter Brown, if you want to buy anything in South Florida, want to invest in this great market, Mia Rodrigues is the one to go to, Peter Brown. You can WhatsApp her. She speaks 3 languages. That woman's just unstoppable. She's the go-to realtors, Peter Brown.
Yes,
the go-to realtor. Contact Mia Rodrigues. And, of course, she's on TV. So she's doing that thing still where, if you want to be on her show, she's doing a casting call, so contact her, and she might, if you got a house or a business that you want to sell, Mia Rodrigues is the one to call, and you might even appear on her channel or on her show. Sorry about that.
Yeah, the next thing you know, she'll have a channel, maybe.
Actually, she does have a YouTube channel, but
YouTube channel, YouTube. Okay,
yeah, great. YouTube. She's got real estate stuff going, so pretty cool, some pretty cool stuff.
All right. Well, let's say hello to a few folks.
Let's do it, Peter Brown. I'm ready this time.
All right.
And we can start off with this weird new channel, Futbol Miami TV ES. Do you see that one? Nuevo canal, todo en español. That means we're going to have a channel specifically in Spanish just for you guys. So you can go there. Everything's going to be Spanish. Go and subscribe now. And actually the next show, tomorrow's show in Spanish, will be on that channel, Peter Brown.
Yeah, so we're gonna try this out and no longer do the Spanish stuff on this channel. So this channel will be strictly English speaking only, and then that channel will be strictly Spanish speaking only, and see how that works out. So
yeah, some people were getting confused.
Right.
In our comments, they were saying, I thought it was English. So, okay, we're going to keep this one in English
Right.
and the other one's just Spanish.
It never failed. We would get a comment on like, say, this show saying, "Oh, you need to do things in Spanish," and then you'd get a comment on the Spanish show saying, "How come you're not speaking in English?" So
we're going to fix that. Pretty soon, Peter's wife is going to be doing the one in Portuguese.
I don't know about that.
Then we're going to do one in Chinese, and it'll be anarchy before you know it. We'll be talking, languages from out of this world.
All right. Who else do we have in the chat?
All right, Peter. In other words, shut up, Ed. We got Tank, Peter Brown, Tank, Bruno, Panizo is in here.
He wants the link.
In the house. Our friend, one of our oldest friends. I'm not saying that you're old, One World, One Goal, but you're on here with us. All right. Nemo, 9542. I think he wants a refund.
Yeah, well, at least that's part of what was in our thumbnail. There was that lady holding up the sign that said, "No Messi refund, please." So, yeah.
That's something. Kata recently realized I speak Spanish. Well, you can go check me out in Spanish in the other channel. We also have Francisco Garcia. Good night. Oh, we got a lot of people today. Jose Velasquez. All right. Our good buddy, Sports Shorts, Peter Brown. Sports Shorts. The troublemaker of troublemakers, Peter Brown. You know who that is. Louis Rodrigues.
I already knew when you're saying it.
Yep. We got Damian Guzman also with us. Wow, we're probably going to be at this for a while, Peter Brown. Pablo Golazo is also with us.
I think you missed one, but
I'm looking. Iker GDD.
Yeah. And he's exactly part of what we're talking about. He's asking about subtitles.
Iker, tenemos un canal en español, Futbol Miami TV ES, por español. Anda ahí y todos los lunes programa en vivo en español.
And as far as subtitles, YouTube doesn't do like auto subtitles right here. I mean, I guess, there's some auto functions within your browsers or stuff like that, but, sorry.
Yeah. Mike V is also with us, Peter. If I miss somebody, you just jump in, Peter Brown.
So Mike V was one of the people. He went to sleep at 11 and woke up at 3. So that's kind of like my schedule. Went to sleep around 11, 11:30. I had a company party I had to go to, but yeah, I didn't wake up at 3. Thought about it.
Our buddy Ricardo Paredes, he's over there in North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
He left us to go to North Carolina. I hope he doesn't become a Carolina fan. And who else, Peter Brown? I think that is it.
Eric Thomas is here.
Oh, look at that. Louis Rodriguez saying he's not a troublemaker. Oh, no, man. I've seen you online, buddy.
Online. The thing is with Louis, sometimes I've noticed he could just be, I mean, he may be right sometimes, but you take Louis, sometimes it seems like you take whatever is the opposite. Like, everybody says one thing, you're saying something different. Sometimes sometimes I agree with you, sometimes I don't, but you're always an entertaining read online. That's it for me. That's great.
Mounds don't.
Question by Kata I wanted to just address here. Why do Caneswear's kits lack the MLS and Apple logos on the sleeves? So that's because the kits that come from Adidas do not have the MLS or the Apple logo on them. So when they're ordering from Adidas, it does not come with that. So that's why it's not there for Caneswear. Now, the reason you see them at the stadium or Fanatics, which Fanatics runs the stadium store, they supply the stadium store. So anything with Fanatics will have those patches, and that's because Fanatics themselves puts it on. Or I'm sure in the case of at Inter Miami, maybe they do it in-house or whatever. But it's all done. Anything that you're ordering from the stadium is going to have them, and anything that you order from the Fanatics will have them. And I get it. I know a lot of you prefer to have those patches on there, and that's I've talked to the Caneswear guys about possibly ordering those things and doing it. They haven't gotten there yet. So what I've done in the past, I did it with Ed one time. I bought my shirt at Caneswear and then went to another store that had the patches and paid an extra like $5-10 and got the patches put on. So because I wanted to support Caneswear and support them as a local business. But that is the reason. For better or for worse, that's the deal.
Yeah, and Peter, before we go on, I just wanted to say, Doña Yus Messi said, gave me my coffee early. I think I've convinced her to eventually come on the show. She's back there working somewhere. I don't know if you guys can see her, but she's back there somewhere. There's a possibility she might actually want to come on the show, so you guys will actually get to see Doña Yus Messi, Peter, in English and Spanish.
All right. Here, Sports Shorts, still more Caneswear talk. Sports Shorts says he just went on the website and the Heartbeat kit is only $49.95. Exactly. So there's some good deals right now. Some people, once the sponsor changes, they don't ever want that shirt again, but it's still an Inter Miami jersey. A lot of people will still be wearing it. And if you can get it at a great price, why not?
Exactly.
So. All right. Also, you want to give us a call? We've got, 2 voicemails from one person. So give us a call, 786-474-4435. One more stepping in here at the last second. Yuki Julie from Bali.
Thanks for joining us.
Kata says you can't beat that price, the $49.95, and for that price, who cares if it has the patches on it, right? Because again, you could take it to another store and get them. So, or I'll keep trying to convince Caneswear to buy the patches. They have the machine to put it on. I just need to actually get the patches. All right, so this team has been on a global world tour. And I'm reading a lot of comments, and some people say things like money grab. The question is, do they care more about money than they do the play on the field? I mean, these are all valid questions. But there's the business side of things versus the playing side of things, and they don't always match and meet, but I was interested to just kind of think about like this tour has it been a success or a failure, and everybody may kind of look at that differently. If you only care about the product on the field, you may look at it as a failure. I'm not sure. Financially, you may look at it as a positive. But it's funny is clubs around the world do this. Your Manchester Uniteds, your Barcelonas, they go on world tours. I don't know if their fans bitch and moan about the world tour the way we do, but I think it's more so because MLS fans aren't used to this. No other MLS team in history, as far as I can remember, has ever done a tour like this. I think the closest was LA Galaxy that did a few big stops, but nobody has done like 7 stops. And so I think this is unprecedented, but a lot to kind of think about, fans that are not happy because of the quality of play and us looking embarrassed in Saudi Arabia, looking better in Hong Kong, but then the fans are pissed off. And I got something I want to talk about there, but Ed, where do you land on this? Do you kind of just big picture before we dig into any specific game, big picture, where do you land on this? Is the global branding, is it a success or a failure right now?
Well, I think, oh, look at that. Getting all, spiffy on me. I think, Peter, the last team that did something like this was the Cosmos back in the NASL days. They had some success. They did lose some games pretty bad. From I looked up recently because I was actually curious to see how that went. They actually lost, not as bad as a 6-0, but the name's getting out there. Football, Inter Miami's getting out there. I think that's good. Everybody knows who we are. Unfortunately, we couldn't have lost against a worse team, Ronaldo's team, and he wasn't even playing. So that kind of hurts us, man, as far as reputation goes. This last game, we had to win because it was basically an all-star game. Mm-hmm. And I guess we're going to get to that in a little bit. But I think, was it a success? Mixed feelings, because apparently, what's happening to the Japan game? It's not happening anymore?
Well, okay. So I noticed this too. I saw that there was some comments on Twitter. But before I saw the comments, I actually kind of uncovered the same thing myself, just because I'm on Apple a lot, right? And so, yeah, it shows the schedule on Apple as far as what's the up next game, and it did have the Visser Kobe game. I think that's what it's called, and it's been removed from the Apple lineup. And then when you watched the Hong Kong game, the announcers repeatedly talked about how the Newell Old Boy game is the next game. They didn't mention the fact that the Japan game was canceled. They just didn't act like it ever existed, right? It just didn't. They just mentioned Newell's Old Boy. But in Inter Miami's press release today, they did, which is the game wrap up at the very bottom of it. It does say next stop is Tokyo. So according to their press release, sounds like it's still happening. Reading an article in The Athletic, not specifically about that game, but about the Hong Kong game. But at the bottom of that article, it also referenced the next game being Tokyo. So I'm not sure what happened there. Is it in question? Maybe. I wonder if the organizers have kind of looked at what happened in Hong Kong and said, hey, wait a minute here. If you're not bringing Messi, I'm not interested. So that could be happening. Going to a couple of the chats as we pose the question, success or failure. Here's a few things I highlighted in the chat while you were talking, Ed. Kata says, bad planning and should have been Asia only. Japan, Korea, China, heck, maybe Australia. Okay. Louis Rodrigues says, business versus organization don't match well enough with players. True. Baldwin's saying, hang on a second. Baldwin is saying, I don't know if this is all psycho mass money grab, but it doesn't look great. I just want preseason to prepare the team. I don't care if they win or what. So that's one of the things the money grab thing. I keep hearing that a lot, that people keep referencing this as a money grab. Duh. It's a business, You bring in a player of like Messi, you're going to want to make some money back. You're going to want to go out and try to increase your brand. I mean, they've always had these global plans, and I know One World, One Goal and I also often talk about marketing, and that's part of her commentary that I'll play in a few minutes about local marketing. They always have a global idea, but they kind of maybe don't pay attention to local. But I think it's all kind of coming together with when you got a guy like Messi. And so I don't think it's a money grab. I mean, it's obvious. It is a business. It almost feels like, is it too early? Because when you go and this happens, when you go to Al Nassr and you get destroyed 6-0, it's not. What does that say? What does that do for your global brand, Ed?
Yeah, that's. I mean, they're obviously, you even see the guy next to him laughing, at our expense. But that's the way it is. Oh, we got the family showing up. So yeah, it's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah. It's I thought that was hilarious to see this, like he's like a Saudi government official or something like that, like trolling. You don't, because look, most of the time that they cut to the Saudis, hey, once
Hi,
they
Peter.
hi. Whenever the Apple TV cut to the Saudis, you know what they generally were doing? They were generally like this on their phones. Not even paying attention to the game most of the time. So this one, I love the fact that he was at least trolling Inter Miami. But what does this do for your brand? I mean, in some ways, a 6-0 loss against a very good team. Don't get it twisted. The Saudi Pro League, I know there's a lot of talk about which is better, the MLS or the Saudi Pro League, but the Saudi Pro League does not have any financial constraints. They can spend whatever they want. So,
Ariel, hello to you, by the way.
Hi, Peter.
Hi.
She's like Peter Brown's biggest fan right here, Ariel. All right, babies, go over there so I can do my show. Go, go, go. Too cute. They are your biggest fan. Uh-oh.
I know. I gotta see them soon. We gotta get families together. But yeah, so back to this, the branding. I mean, it does it sometimes in some, do you become a laughing stock because Al Nassr is in the middle of their season, one of the top teams in the league. We are just trying to figure things out, just trying to get our feet under us. So maybe, I don't know. If you go on a global tour to like this, should they have maybe played against more teams like Hong Kong, which I saw somebody in the chat comparing them to a USL team. I don't know. They definitely had some good skill players. They were coming out hard in the beginning. So, but still, it's obviously a team you could beat with your backups because that's what we did. And so maybe
starting team was better. Sure.
Maybe they should have scheduled more global games against a lesser competition. So it's kind of like the Harlem Globetrotters going out on a tour. Harlem Globetrotters always win.
It's always the same team too, right? That they always played.
Usually, it's the Washington Generals, if I remember correctly.
They got killed every single time they played. Poor Generals.
Esteban Dito, we haven't seen this guy in a long time.
Yeah,
he's checking in, saying that Inter Miami CF got scared. Kobe might go Mamba style on them. Yeah, so I mean, as far as I know, that game is still happening, but I don't know. Christopher Harris, a guy that knows stuff, says,
he knows.
From worldsoccertalk.com, says we should expect an official announcement about the Japan game on Monday. Yeah, I guess to find out which way it's going. I'm sure Christopher Harris has an idea. It might be going one way or the other. If you want to tell us in the chat,
Messi's not playing,
you wouldn't mind.
They don't want another fiasco like Hong Kong's game where everybody was booing David Beckham.
I don't think. Is that? Hang on a second.
I jumped ahead, didn't I?
Yeah. Whoops. Yeah. Well, so they were asking for refunds, and yep, they were doing that. Come on, Dad. There he is. This is kind of like Beckham waiting while people are booing him a little bit. So Beckham, that was interesting that he kind of started his little speech like 3 times before he could actually get it out. And Beckham, my memory serves me, is pretty beloved in Asia, especially when he was a player. They didn't care. They're pissed.
A lot of them paid some good bucks to get in and watch that game, and everybody expected Messi to be there. But dude, the thing is, the guy got hurt. What can you do?
Yeah,
they're not going to risk him.
Steve Munoz says tour was a disaster class. Louis Rodrigues says Al Hilal game was a disaster as well. Well, at least that one they scored. So,
But
Scrolling real quick here, just that things that are relevant to what we were just saying. Jonathan Alvarado says, embarrassing moment for MLS and Inter. So that's what and I don't think when you're talking about embarrassing moment, I don't think you're talking about this. I think you're more talking about this. And that's where I kind of questioned is like, when you're going into a situation like this, when your team is clearly not prepared and you're going up against a very good team over, that's well paid and all that, are you just setting yourself up for failure? Are you doing more damage than good on your global branding? I mean, that's kind of where I was concerned. But I think all said and done, I think Inter Miami walks away from this saying, hey, this is a success because they made a boatload of money. Now, having said that, boatload of money, it was reported and I'm pulling it up here in The Athletic, that the government from Hong Kong is saying that they want, I'm trying to find the exact quote. The government added that it was extremely disappointed that Messi did not play, and it said it will look to reduce the funding it contributed towards the event. So they basically were saying that whatever money was guaranteed to Inter Miami because for this tour, that they should cut it. Wow. Reduce it. So I guess it just really does depend on what's in the contract. Because, I mean, I've heard of these kind of tours where it's kind of in the contract that to expect X number of the stars to play. I don't know if they ever say that specific people have to play, but I think they generally, like when a Barcelona comes to town, because you always hear that, like, hey, they're going to play at the Orange Bowl. They're going to play at Dolphin Stadium. I'm going to pay a bunch of money to see Barcelona versus Chivas, which I think we were both at, and years ago. And you want to know that, hey, if I'm paying that money, I want to see Messi out on the field. I want to see all the big name stars out on the field. So I get the people being upset, but
they should have had Suarez come out. They had the other guys, the other two, but Suarez could have played another 5 minutes. I think people would have been a little more chill with the whole thing. But yeah, missing Suarez and missing Messi, hurts.
Yeah, but I do find it interesting that the government is getting involved here, saying that that. It says here also the event, this is from The Athletic, by the way, the event has been awarded M-Mark status as well as matching grant of $1.9 million and a grant for venue of $1 million by the Major Sports Events Committee. I don't know exactly what that means other than it sounds like they got close to $2 million for playing this game, or at least I don't know if Inter Miami got all that. But regarding Messi not playing the match today, the government, as well as all football fans, are extremely disappointed about the organizer's arrangement. The organizer owes all football fans an explanation. The MSEC will take follow-up actions with the organizer according to the terms and conditions, which includes reducing the amount of funding as a result of Messi not playing the match. So that does sound like potentially terms and conditions that it sounds like it could have been in the contract that Messi at least will step out on the field. And by doing that, by him not playing, that may not be as big of a windfall for Inter Miami.
Gotcha. So these things happen. They need to have it in the contract. Hey, the guy's hurt. He's hurt. He can't play.
But
sorry.
So going back to success or failure, I still look at this as a success. Sure, we got a little bit embarrassed. Sure, we're going to get trolled a little bit. But you got your name out all over the world. People know the name Inter Miami now. Some places might laugh at the name. True. But a lot of people wearing them pink shirts, though. Sold a bunch of jerseys. Now, I'm sure they sold a lot of Chinese, knockoffs, but they still sold some jerseys. Lots of publicity, whether it's good publicity or not, that's up to our, is all publicity is good publicity? Is the old saying, right?
That's the truth, Ruth.
So,
But yeah, I agree with you, Peter Brown. I think their names out there. It's a global brand right now. They're making money left and right, and that's what matters.
that's right.
We
All
just
right.
need a defense urgently.
Let's take a break here and this voicemail. We'll listen to these two voicemail, and then I think we could probably get into some of what we thought about the game, specifically maybe this last one. But let's go to the voicemail. And if you have a voicemail that you want to join in, if you vehemently disagree with some of the stuff that we said, give us a call, 786-474-4435. Here we go.
It's time for your voicemail.
Hello.
And with that, here we go.
Hey, Peter and Uncle Ed and all the great fans, old and new. So this segment it's Italia, one world, one goal. This segment is brought to you by Cafe Bustelo, but my Cuban coffee has long worn off, so I might not have the same pep. Speaking of pep and activity, oh my gosh, how do we cover 3 games plus a big, practice event with 40,000 fans, so 4 different events to talk about, plus we finally saw the real jersey on the field, in 2 different countries, half a world away. So too much drama for your mama, as Uncle Ed would say. Trying to put a positive spin on everything. I think Peter and I can tell you we've been a little frustrated with the marketing from day one because we were accustomed to a certain level from, the Fusion days and, even what Miami FC was trying to put out there and the Strikers second version was trying to put out there. So I think we're just missing that link of, what the hometown fans want to see. So all this global marketing is wonderful, but it's difficult if somebody's injured or it's too much travel or what have you. So, I hope finally when they move here to the stadium, by then we're settled down here in Miami and we get a little more of the functions of what, I think we could expect to see. The bright spot is you can see that the youth that we brought up from the Miami Academy and the Inter Miami 2 team has really paid off. I mean, if you had somebody like a Jessica Sarr or somebody of that caliber who's been both a head coach and, a champion and was an FIU grad and a Fusion player, etc. If you had somebody like him, just look at all this tape. Well, it's not tape anymore, but anyway, look at all the digital. And he could, pull from these stars and pull from somebody look how great Boatwright was. Nobody had any idea he was that great. And some of these younger players need a little time. Of course, Taylor was great. Saylor was great. We didn't expect that. Noah Allen is great on the wing, not really adapting as well to the center, but such a hardworking player and local hometown kid. Ruiz was good. Gressel finally was making crosses at the end. I think he also needs to be repositioned. So somebody with a bright eye that knows South Florida, that knows MLS, needs to really just look at this team now and capture and put it all together. And I think, Coach Martino is great, but, that whole passing back thing, which is the same thing Phil Neville did, which, we appreciate Neville, we appreciate Alonso and Martinez, but that whole style of just passing it all the way back, South Florida fans will not tolerate that.
Part 2. Here we go.
Oh, it's Italia again. I think I cut myself off, or maybe you cut me off, or maybe you want to cut me off. Ha, ha, ha. Anyway, so bottom line, I think, once we regroup, get past all this crazy world traveling tour and get into the nuts and bolts of the team, I think we'll be okay for trying to do one of these tournament runs. I don't think we have what it takes to win a whole cup. I'd love to be wrong. But, love you guys, love the show, and thanks for all the hard work and all your great fans hanging in there day and night watching these games. Peace. Ciao for now.
All right.
Lots there. But she was talking about, some of the players and everything in that game. And, when we go to that, I think here we had the lineup here. We did see a lot younger team coming out on the field. Finally, we were chatting this a little bit, that Tata seems to be kind of stubborn at times, and he really pushes one formation. He had been pushing the 5-man back, that 3-man back, but switches to a 5, he was pushing that, and in the majority of this tour, it hasn't worked. They finally switched to a 4-3-3, and
much better.
It worked. Now, of course, it worked against a lesser opponent, and speaking of lesser opponents, our very own Don Bear was the one that said that he feels that Hong Kong was a weak, less than USL team. Saad Al Nasser wasn't impressive either, but enough to beat Inter Miami. See, I don't agree with that. I think Hong Kong is a better all-star team than USL. They were coming at Inter Miami pretty hard in the beginning and putting us on our back foot quite a bit. Like One World, One Goal was saying, we kind of forced us to do a lot of back passing. And it sounded like I thought I heard some boos during some of that back passing as well. Fans not too excited about that. But I disagree also with Al Nasser wasn't impressive. They're also a top level team in that country as well. So I think
at least in Asia they're pretty good.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, who stood out for me was Taylor. I think he should be a starter over all these young kids. That Tata has given the starting position to before. Taylor needs to be a starter. There's no doubt in that. The guy, as a matter of fact, I read somewhere that he's even a freestyle. He likes doing freestyle, and it showed because he was doing all sorts of tricks and stuff to get past some of these players. And he just looked impressive. I think he should be a starter, Peter.
Yeah, Kata feels like the 4-3-3 is the go-to formation.
I agree.
But yeah, I was happy to see that they finally found a way to get Taylor and Gressel on the field together, because it kind of was like one or the other in some of the games that they would take Gressel out, put Taylor in, and Taylor could play all over the field. So can Gressel. I mean, they don't have to play the same position. You put Gressel on the right and Taylor on the left. I know Taylor spent a lot of time on the left. He's listed at the middle, but he really played on the left. Right. But he drifted, and Gressel, I think, also finally showed what he's capable of. He finally got some really good crosses in. There is that one cross that he sent in, and Campana headed the ball, but it just went a little high. That was a great opportunity. Maybe Campana should have buried that, but it's still preseason.
Totally. I think Campana was kind of surprised at the preciseness of that one, because after that he was like, "Wow, dude!" Yeah, he was like, "Wow!" I think he didn't expect it to be that good.
Right.
That's Campana's fault. He should have buried that sucker, because that was spot on.
But it's just like when it's just like no matter who the players are, seems like no matter who the coach is, you high press against Inter Miami and you have success. And that's when the Hong Kong team was having success, is when they were just challenging everything every time we touched the ball, forcing them to make sloppy passes. Dos Santos, who had a pretty good game, putting pressure on him when there was pass backs. Dos Santos passed it across the face of the goal a couple of times. That scared me. So that, and I know that I think Tank in the chat somewhere earlier was saying how he wants to see more of Dos Santos. Tank does not like Calendar. I don't know why. Calendar is definitely better than Dos Santos. However, Calendar has not looked very good in the preseason so far. So I will say that
I've heard that he's really good with his feet. So maybe that's why he takes those risks, because he knows he can probably dribble the ball around. Aviles, in my opinion, I don't know why he's still starting. Maybe because there's nobody else to put in there right now. But I think it's time, they bring in this new guy, give him a chance. Unfortunately, from what, Don Bear has been telling me, also has been telling me that he's, that new player, I forgot his name right now, he's really slow.
Ferreira, something like that.
Freire, whatever. That guy.
Somebody in the chat was saying that he might have some sort of an injury, and that's why we're not seeing
Oh.
it.
Why do we get a guy that's injured?
So that always seems to happen. But I saw a comment that I thought was funny. Mike V saying, Gressel needs new shoes. He looks like he is wearing Tom McCann's. Who here remembers Tom McCann's? Going to the Tom McCann store.
Wow.
Do you remember the Tom McCann's, Ed?
I sure do, man. Mike V's taking it way back.
I remember there was a Tom McCann on 441, close to the Golden Glades interchange, close to Cloverleaf Bowling Alley, in the neighborhood I grew up, and there was a Tom McCann store there. Now I've got to go back and find an image of Gressel's feet. I want to see these shoes that look like Tom McCann's. That's hilarious. But he finally looked like the player that we expect to see out there. Kristoff, though, team looked better when he came off the field.
Yeah.
Even with Ryan Saylor making a few mistakes.
Saylor scored a goal.
He did score a goal.
We know he's good. He's good at heading the ball. I think it's not the first goal that he's scored. From centers and stuff like that. So he gives us an option. I like that. See, Carter says Freire is slow. He's got a reputation of being slow. That new guy.
Yeah, that's the last thing we need is slow defenders. I agree. We got enough of those already.
Wow. A lot of people I've heard saying that this guy's slow.
I see some of the comments in the chat, and sometimes it's funny, and I don't know what they were referring to, but Baldwin saying boomer comment, LOL. I don't know what that means. I mean, I know what a boomer is, but I don't know what he's referring to.
Oh, I get. Yeah, I think he's saying because of Tom McCann's, I think.
Oh, okay, maybe.
He's saying that he's old. Boomers, wow.
Who remembers
That's
Tom
old.
McCann's?
Wow.
Baldwin asking the question, since we were just kind of talking about Kristoff. Kristoff getting worse? Question mark. Seems like it. I agree. He has had a terrible preseason. He constantly is getting exposed. Avilés has made several mistakes as well. Who's next to him? And then continue on that back line. Noah Allen. He's made great progress. I'm proud of him, but he's not quite ready to be a starter every game.
That's,
but I guess we're waiting for Franco Negri to, get better because he's still with the team, right? As far as
hurry up, dude. We need you. I mean, I'm all for Noah. I'm a Noah fan, but yeah, I think he still needs. I think he still.
Or
needs
is Negri
on
the right? I forget. I think he was on the left, but then also that's Alba's spot as well. But we know the four stars are not going to play every game. So it's like, who do you want when Jordi Alba's not playing? Do you want Negri or do you want Allen? I mean, I think I'd go for Negri if at least if we get the old Negri back, who was good player. Kata's confirming Negri's left back. Yeah, it's been just such a long time since I've seen him on the field. I forgot where he's playing. Louis likes Allen, was good at left fullback. As a center defender, not so well. Yeah, I mean, I think he's made great progress. I just don't know if I want to see him at, if we're supposed to be this championship level team, I don't know if he's your starter. I think he's great depth, and if he has to play, you're going to feel okay.
The thing is, when we went into this preseason, a lot of teams in MLS were saying, "Oh man, Miami's going to be tough to beat." With this preseason, they know how to beat us. That's the problem. They know what to do to get the wins against us, and we need to do something quick.
Yeah, going back to the young kids, Sunderland, he didn't look too bad. Again,
he had
this is
of
against a
chances
lesser quality team in Hong Kong, so
But he had a couple chances. He messed up there, way up high. But the good thing about this game, a lot of guys that aren't starters got some minutes in, and I think that's important.
Mr. Mike V is cracking me up today. Aviles has a 7-year-old face on a 70-year-old body, looking like the body double for Mr. Burns from The Simpsons.
Wow. So just so you know, he does this in Spanish too. He's just he's pretty funny.
Choking me up.
And he sits close to us.
What's that?
He sits close to us, so I think he sits one area over from us. But we got to meet up with this guy.
Mike V, what section do you sit in? We're in 115. All right. So one of the things, Ed, I wanted to say is I saw in the chat. Did I highlight it? And Kato's asking a question about Vision Pro. I'll talk about that eventually. So I'll mention that to Kato. I don't see the chat. I starred a couple chats that I wanted to maybe focus on, but people are now saying fire Tata. Here we are, fire Tata. We're already at that point where I see it online. It said it in this. Somebody said it in this chat. Fire Tata. We're starting that already. I mean, I will give you this. He does seem to be, bullheaded at times, stubborn. But at the same time, I know I've felt sometimes, when I've watched soccer, no matter what team it is, you yell at the coach when they're making constant changes. I remember yelling at some of the Fort Lauderdale Strikers coaches back in the days, just pick a lineup and stick with it so that they could build some sort of consistency, right? So, so there's something to, sticking with them for a few games, sticking with a game plan for a few games, trying to force it and seeing if it works. And I'm going to guess that's what he was doing. So if a coach makes too many changes, we complain. If he doesn't make enough changes, we complain. Basically, if the team does not win, we say, fire said coach.
That's how it is. That's how it works.
There is no chill these days. No grace point. No grace at all. Francisco Garcia says, Tata is not a modern coach, but he is not bad, and all coaches have to be stubborn. Okay. Steve Munoz, what coach isn't stubborn, right? But not a modern coach. But he is the kind of coach, and when he came on the radar, he checked all the boxes. Because I said this in a previous video where Wilfred Nancy, was the coach in Vancouver, or Montreal. And I was trying to remember because they had the Drive Pink as their home stadium during COVID, and he was the coach at that time, and he kind of rose up to prominence with Montreal, turned them into a really solid team, then goes to Columbus, wins it all. And he's like that kind of quietly really good coach. Maybe I guess you would say a modern coach. I don't know, modern, not modern. I think all that's whatever works, you go with.
Peter, you should know you're playing FIFA now all the time. You should be a hell of a coach.
So I play FIFA a little bit. I started playing other games a little bit more, but FIFA is I'm not good at it, Ed. There, anybody in this chat that plays FIFA, don't hit me up because unless you just want to win, right? Because I don't even play online. I played like 1 or 2 games online and I got slaughtered. So I'm playing. I've just graduated up. I'm making the levels a little bit, but I moved it to like pro. I was like on amateur or whatever. I moved it to pro. I'm not very good. So,
Peter, I wanted to mention also, about the other channel in Spanish. Don't forget to subscribe to it. We also put up a video. I don't know if you saw the short with Sean Garnier. I think he's a French guy. He's the freestyle world champ. He challenged Messi, one versus V1, and or anybody from Inter Miami. That's why I was somebody had put he should play against Taylor, because Taylor apparently he started doing freestyle also. So I think that's a pretty big deal. You guys can check that out in our new channel in Espanol, Futbol Miami TV ES. So go check that out.
All right. Continuing on with for the next few minutes at least, Mike V again. Tata is pig-headed, huge ego, having passed his prime, living washed-up manager. He is lucky to have rode several coattails to some success, but he has done nothing on his own.
Ouch.
Wrestle Media US. Do you guys have a podcast or something? Wrestle Media? Firing Tata when Miami hasn't fixed their defense. It's easy to blame the coach when he has limited options for player selection. Yeah, keep that in mind. So
yeah.
They've when you talk about like who do they bring in this year so far, right? Not a lot of on defense. So they haven't even fixed the problem. They bring the only defender that they've brought in is Freire, however you say his name.
Freire. Yeah, and they got rid of McVay. They got rid of, who else did they just get rid of? Somebody else.
Miller.
Oh, of course. Miller was the best of the bad, I would say.
But he was our best.
Our best defender. Yeah, our best defender. Who else? We lost somebody else.
Yeah, and I think that there's a graphic that they keep posting up, showing we sent out 4 players. They're talking about we brought in 3 players, but that also doesn't take into account Freire. So we haven't. Point being, Joseph is one of the people that was brought, sent packing. Point being, we did not make very many changes. Right. Stefanelli, McVay, yep. We've brought in just a few players, so it's in MLS. It's hard to do wholesale changes. People that have jumped on the Inter Miami bandwagon, welcome. But there's a lot of people that don't necessarily understand the MLS rules, and so they think it's like Europe or something where you can just get rid of everybody and start from scratch, and you can't do that with just the way the rules are set up. So they really haven't made a lot of changes. They have not fixed the defense. So they do need to bring in at least 1 or 2 more players. With that, the focus really was on bringing in some attacking players. So I guess the hope is going to be more of the games like the Al Nassr, except with us winning. If we're not going to fix a defense, we're just going to have to outscore everybody.
That's going to be our problem. We're going to have high scoring games. With we're going to be receiving 3 goals. We're going to be making 4, or vice versa. So that's going to be this season if they don't fix that back line. Yeah,
exactly. So there's talk in here. I don't know why. Talk in here. I thought that
Harvey Neville left too, apparently, right?
What's that?
Harvey Neville. He's another.
Yeah, but it's just not official.
Oh, okay.
Luis Barrios in the chat says, how come MLS teams don't have cheerleaders? Cheerleaders will be a great ticket seller. Esteban Dito says, cheerleaders are not for football. Tank, however, being a dirty old man, says, I'm down for that. But not cheerleaders. More like Miami Heat dancers would be epic. So MLS, when it first launched, had cheerleaders.
Yep.
Good chunk of the teams had cheerleaders, and they kind of got ridiculed, and so, it kind of, it didn't go over well. It was Americanizing the world sport. And then when I remember, they kind of all went away. And if I remember correctly, when Chivas came on board, I think they brought their version of cheerleaders as well, if I remember correctly, because some of the Mexican teams have cheerleaders, but they are a lot. They've amped up the sexiness, right?
Right.
Then So I don't. It's just one of those things where some people might like them. I know with Miami FC back in the old days in the lower level, not the current version of Miami FC, a different version, they had cheerleaders. People love to get pictures with them. Kids got pictures with them. I don't mind it. I don't have a problem with Americanizing some parts of the game. We are in America. Why not? But it's just people get pissed off when you try to Americanize it. So Kata saying, I remember Strikers cheerleaders a healthy amount of silicone.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Anyways, so before we go, Kata was asking me, Ed, I don't know if you even know about this. Totally different topic. Peter, will you be watching Inter games on Apple Vision Pro? I think that's something we could dig into a little bit more on another show. But, Apple Vision Pro is their version of the kind of VR headset that's coming out. And apparently, when you get these things, you're going to be able to see MLS games in a very different way. Because it's on Apple, they're going to obviously tie Apple products to the Apple Sports thing. And I imagine they'll do the same thing with baseball that gets played on Apple as well. And nobody really knows what it's going to look like, but it's supposed to put you in the game more so than a normal VR. This is supposed to go above and beyond a normal VR. But to answer your question, Kata, not in the beginning. I won't, because I think if I remember correctly, they're a little bit over $3,000. So, yeah. It's a lot of money, Ed. For some VR goggles. That's going to be a hard sell to my wife. Some $3,000 goggles.
Has been telling me I should just watch MLS on TV on the app.
See, look, if I didn't renew my season tickets, I might look at something like that, because my season now, look, a $3,000 headset kind of is around the same price as the season tickets. So you'd say, well, then you might as well just go to the game. The difference is you make that investment for one season. So you buy your $3,000 headset and you've got it for multiple years. So you're not having to, do that 3,000, which is going to go up every season too, on top of that.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting, I am really interested to see what it looks like. I will definitely want to put one of those suckers on my head. And the problem is, I am an Apple junkie.
Totally.
I've got most things Apple. Not everything. I didn't buy the Apple HomePod, which is their version of Apple Alexa. Instead, I have the actual Alexas. I went cheaper. But I have most Apple things. So I don't know, Ed. Louis says Vision Pro is officially out. Okay, I didn't know it was out already. See, that's just it. I haven't followed it that closely because it's out of my price range. So, listen to Kata. Charge it to the FMTV card. If only YouTube paid that kind of money.
Oh, man. We need more sponsors. So help us out, guys. Or Patreon. Patreon, before I sell my kidney.
You want us to get a headset? Help us. Join Patreon for only $5 a month. You can put some money into Ed's kidney account or my Vision Pro headset.
There you go.
Or
the other
for other soccer related things. So
I think we should make a poll on something like that. Either my kidney or your Vision Pro thingamajigger.
Yeah.
I think my kidney's gone.
People vote for the Pro.
They're
Vision
gonna
Pro.
give it to you.
Yeah, because they're gonna want to hear videos on reviews, thoughts, and opinions. And it would add to the listen, Ed. My Vision Pro goggles would add value to this channel.
You might have to do it, Peter.
I'm selling you on the idea.
Kidney.
forget your kidney. Anyways, I think that about wraps it up. There's still a lot more comments in the chat. We could have gone on and on and on about things. I know there's probably lots of things that we didn't cover that were in there, but like for example, I did love this image. And then this image, this lady saying no Messi refund, please. So this is Hong Kong fans, and so we didn't really go into those too much, but I really did enjoy those images. So Sports Shorts last comment, he says it would be cool if there was a 360-degree camera in the stands for Vision Pro, and you would be in the stadium. I mean there's promises on some of that stuff. So I'm sure if they haven't put out more info. I did see like a blurb about it. So, all right. Kata's asking if there's an FMTV discount at Heart. I'm not sure if they're still giving us a discount, but just mention us, and they might give you a 10% off.
Yeah.
But but either way, if you go to the store, mention us. It helps. It helps us. So, all right, everybody. Spanish show. Ed, how? Okay, so normally we finish this show saying, watch here on Monday. How are people going to find you tomorrow?
Tomorrow, well, Peter Brown, everybody's got to look up Futbol Miami TV ES. I'm gonna start putting the link on the description of every video, so everybody could go over there right now, and we're gonna start putting it everywhere. I'm gonna. I will create a little banner like this for next week that promotes just a little text banner at the bottom. I'll make one of those for next week. I'll put it on all social media so you guys can connect. Be sure to subscribe so you guys can get all the latest Spanish information. There will be a construction video that I finally did because Peter Brown was complaining that he always had to do everything. So Peter Brown, I actually did one.
I do complain a lot.
Yeah, he's a complainer. But I actually did one now. So
I appreciate it. That's awesome. I was planning on going yesterday. I think I told you that. But then I had a company dinner, which then meant my wife. So me and my wife now only use one car. We share a car because we both work from home. Why have two car payments? Generally, we don't generally need the car at the same time. So it's worked out great for the last couple of years because we gave our other car to our daughter. But since I had a company dinner, that meant she had to go get her hair done, get her nails done, and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't get around to doing it. Kata's asking, where is the next Messi-related food video? Didn't you guys film a Messi burger video? I never saw it.
I actually did do it. We actually wanted to make some shorts. There was a short that I did with Marco eating his burger. I got some more of those coming up.
Are we going to get a full video?
No, we're probably just going to get shorts because I have I don't want to repeat myself.
As far as food videos, I'm going to somehow magically, I don't know how, but I am going to find a way to get Ed into the stadium early enough for us to do some food reviews in the stadium. They won't be Messi food reviews, but stadium food reviews in the stadium this season.
For the Wednesday game, Peter, maybe we can make that happen because I asked for the day off.
All right. So we'll definitely have some food videos coming. Maybe not Messi related because he needs a new menu item to get us back. He needs a new menu item. So, all right, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Again, make sure you tune in tomorrow on Futbol Miami TV ES and 9-ish, right?
No, yeah, 9-ish. We're gonna try to be more punctual, but we're gonna get there eventually.
All right, thanks everybody. You guys are the reason we do this, and we appreciate you guys hanging out here with us all the time. Thanks, everybody.